matter what's going on in Haiti, you have to understand the history of Haiti and what happened. So this is an article by Britannica.com, and it talks about the Haitian Revolution as well as the colonial rule that was over them before Haiti became a democratic state. So it says the Spanish began to enslave the native Taino and Ciboney people soon after December 1492, when Italian navigator Christopher Columbus sighted the island that he called La Isla Española, the Spanish island, later angelicized as Hispaniola. The island's indigenous population, forced to mine for gold, was devastated by the European diseases and brutal working conditions. And by the end of the 16th century, the people had virtually vanished. Thousands of slaves imported from the other Caribbean islands met the same fate. After the main gold mines were exhausted, the Spanish were succeeded by the French, who established their own permanent settlements, including Port de Paix in 1665 and Northwest, and the French West Indies Corporation took control of the area. Landowners in the western Hispaniola imported increasing numbers of African slaves, who totaled about 5,000 in the late 17th century. By 1789, on the eve of the French Revolution, the estimated population of Saint Domingo, as the French called their colony, was 556,000, and roughly 500,000 African slaves. 3,200 European colonists and 24,000 Afranches, which were free mulattoes, which is a mixture of African and European descents. Haitian society was deeply fragmented by skin color, class, and gender. The Afranches, most of them mulattoes, were sometimes slave owners themselves and aspired to the economic and social levels of the Europeans. They feared and spurned the slave majority, but were generally discriminated against by white European colonists, who were merchants, landowners, overseers, craftsmen, and the like. The aspiration of the Afranches became a major factor in the colony's struggle for independence. A large part of the slave population was African born from a number of West African peoples. The vast majority worked in the fields, others were household servants, boiler men at the sugar mills, or even slave drivers. Slaves endured long back-breaking work days and often died from injuries, infections, and tropical diseases. Malnutrition and starvation also were common. Some slaves managed to escape into the mountainous interior, where they became known as Maroons and fought guerrilla battles against colonial militia. Now, leading up to all of this, let me see if it's working yet. Still loading. Okay. Now, leading up to all this that was going on during the slavery period time, we had one of our great revolutionary leaders that a lot of us should know about, but some may not, who was the great Toussaint Louverture. Now, against this background rose a revolution, beginning as a series of conflicts from the early 1790s. Among the causes of the conflicts were the Afranches' frustration with a racist society turmoil created in the colony by the French Revolution, which expressed during voodoo ceremonies at the continued brutality of slave owners and wars between European powers. Vincent Ogé, a mulatto who had lobbied the Parisian Assembly for colonial reforms, led an uprising in late 1790, but was captured, tortured, and executed. In May of 1791, the French revolutionary government granted citizenship to the wealthy Afranches, but Haiti's European population disregarded the law. Within 2 months, isolated fighting broke out between European and Afranches, and in August, thousands of slaves rose in rebellion. The European attempted to appease the mulattoes in order to quell the slave revolt, and the French Assembly granted citizenship to all Afranches in April 1792. The country was torn by rival factions, some of which was supported by Spanish colonists in Santo Domingo on the eastern side of the island, which later became the Dominican Republic, or by the British troops from Jamaica. In 1793, a commissioner, Leger Félicité Sophononax, was sent from France to maintain order and offer freedom to slaves who joined his
Come
army. He
on,
soon abolished
come on,
slavery.
other language.
Little something, something.
Come on.
He soon abolished slavery altogether, a decision conferred the following year by the French government. In the late 1790s, Toussaint Louverture, a military leader and former slave, gained control of several areas and earned the additional support of the French agents. He gave nominal allegiance to France while pursuing his own political and military designs, which included negotiating with the British. In January 1801, Toussaint conquered Santo Domingo, and in May of that year, he had himself named governor general for life. He put the peasants back to work on a plantation under military rule and encouraged many of the French proprietors to return. In December 1801, Napoleon Bonaparte, later Napoleon I, wished to maintain control of the island, attempted to restore the old regime and European rule by sending his brother-in-law, General Charles Leclerc, with an experienced force from Domingue that included Alexander Sabes Petion and several other exiled mulatto officers. Toussaint struggled for several months against Leclerc's forces before agreeing to an armistice in May 1802. However, the French broke the agreement and imprisoned him in France. He died on April 7, 1803. Some of Toussaint's lieutenants, most notably John Jacques Dessalines and Henry Christophe, resumed the war against the French in 1802. They were soon joined by Pétion and other mulattoes who were infuriated by the restoration of restrictions on their caste.
They had some
Both
names
the
back then, boy. Jesus.
Mhm. They were soon both the blacks and the mulattoes were enraged by the reports that the French had reestablished slavery in Guadeloupe and Martinique, and the struggle was carried on with great desperation. The French were weakened by the epidemic of the yellow fever. Leclerc succumbed to disease in November of 1802, and the conclusion of the Louisiana Purchase in May 1803 signaled Napoleon's intention to withdraw from North America. Less than 3 weeks later, the French position in Haiti became truly hopeless with the renewal of hostilities between France and Britain on May 18, 1803. Let's see what else we got. On November 18th, the Armée Indigène, French indigenous army under Dessalines, defeated the French at the Battle of Vertères, and French General Jean-Baptiste d'Antonin de Vermours, Comte de Rochambeau, surrendered Cap Francaise, now Cap Haitien, the last significant French stronghold under the terms of surrender. The French were to given 10 days to evacuate, but Rochambeau showed no haste in embarking his troops. Dessalines responded by threatening to turn his cannons on the French ship at anchor in Cap Francaise harbor. Ironically, it would fall to the Royal Navy, which had been blockading Saint Domingue since the resumption of the Napoleonic Wars, to carry out the evacuation. British captain John Bed treated with both Rambecho and Dessalines in the French garrison, finally departed Cap Francaise as British prisoners. While the marker to the end of the French military action on Haiti, France continued to maintain a presence in the eastern part of the island until 1809. All right, it goes from there. But let me see if the video is ready yet. Oh, still not loading. Come on, come on, come on. But that's just a little brief history right there of what happened in Haiti, leading up to the Haitian Revolution with Toussaint Louverture and Jean Jacques Dessalines, one of our great ancestors that fought against the French and the British colonization. Oh, come on, come on, come on.
Get information. Yeah, because, man, like this whole time, people got their own lives, and then next thing you know, you don't even know what's going on. Be like, man, what's going on in Haiti? And then it happen like
Right.
knowing.
That's the thing. They're trying deliberately, because if you notice, they're not showing this on any one of
They're not doing
the major news
all they
outlets.
doing is like, this video tried to play. Huh? This video about Haiti tried to play.
Right.
But yeah, that thing. But you don't hear Haiti. You every now and then, but on mainstream stuff, you're gonna see news. It got something to do with something else.
Mm-hmm.
And see, of course, you're gonna see some sports, March Madness, what's going on right now. But you hear stuff don't got nothing making any sense to nobody.
Exactly. Now, all the focus, this is on what's going on in Israel and Palestine and other stuff, and we need to be aware of that as well. But don't forget about little black Haiti and all the rest of these other countries that are suffering as well, and oftentimes suffering a lot more than some of these other countries that you want to shed emphasis on.
Then you just you sowing money to some countries that and you think it's cool, but not feeding, taking care of the ones that um in your own backyard, like holding everybody down. Just
Right.
money over, was it Ukraine or whatever?
Hmm.
Could have got everybody out of debt and stuff, but you crying that you in a deficit and you about to lock down. Stop giving your money away.
Come on, talk about it, brother Duke.
Stop
Talk
giving
about
it away. And you want us to feel sorry for America. Yeah, we're part of America, but we ain't stupid.
it.
You take money, you fill in your pocket. The rich getting rich because they don't tax. And
That's
they tax
right.
the middle class and the lower class. They don't tax. They don't. They even admit it. The rich.
This is a typical warehouse
Yep.
filled with
They say
packages
they do
all
not.
bound for Haiti.
They do not pay. Oh, I hear you. Video. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it just started playing. Yeah, but yeah, you were exactly right. And we'll get into how much they're spending in Ukraine as well. Thank you for bringing that up, brother Deuce. I'll
Okay.
get to the other point later, but let's see if we can get this thing working. I know we.
I have to get some tissue.
The world, right?
Okay.
This is daunting. There's no way anybody can do all this is one warehouse on this river.
Packages are already sealed and, according to Salisbury, lacking proper documentation, since anything claimed to be worth less than $2,500 doesn't have to be declared.
Usually paper manifest, handwritten.
Right.
You know,
So very bare bones.
and if potentially if somebody didn't want that to make a manifest, very easy to make that happen.
Just last year, Homeland Security announced a crackdown after Haiti's customs agency found a shipment of arms in a container labeled as church donations.
How did it
But
get
this
there?
breakable cargo can only be searched one by one with mobile X-ray units. Salisbury says it could take a month just to go through this.
Oh,